How's it going, YouTube? This is Skull, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program Science Mode. Before I start, I just want to say two things. The first one is that I will be buying Fraps, the video capturing software, later this month, and hopefully that will increase the quality of the video. So if you just don't want to watch the series because the video quality is bad, don't worry. It's only going to be this way for another 1 or 2 episodes. Then it's going to go to much higher quality, about what you would expect to see of computer gameplay on YouTube. The other thing is, in between episodes, I actually went and downloaded a mod for KSP that will, I think will help out this series quite a bit. It's the crowdsourced science mod, which basically, in addition to all the generic science reports that are given whenever you check on science on an object, it allows for people, whoever wants to submit their own science reports for various biomes and stuff, and that's literally a few thousand places, and each of those places has thousands upon thousands of science notes added to it, which should definitely make the series a bit more interesting than just the generic you recorded your assessment of the situation. So, with all that being said, as you can see, we ended the last episode with 111.3 science, which means that we can unlock some stuff. The first thing that I want to get is survivability, because parachutes to survive, that definitely helps. Stability gives us, a nose cone, that's nice. A winglet, a radial decoupler, yeah, we could definitely use all that. General rocketry gives us another rocket engine, gives us a solid fuel booster and a bigger fuel tank, so we'll want that as well. Now we're down to 58 science, and that can get us one of these. Now, which one do we want most? We can get advanced rocketry, which is more rockets and a bigger fuel tank. We can get general construction, which is the one that looks best to me right now. It gives us another decoupler, gives us the launch clamp, which will help out a lot. Crew cabin, which allows us to, it allows us to get 2 Kerbals into space at once if we so wish. Adapter, struts. So this one's looking best, but what else do we have? Aviation. Now, honestly, I frankly don't care about this kind of thing. I know a lot of people play KSP for the airplanes. I play Kerbal Space Program to go into space, so I'll be getting this stuff, of course, but I think I'll be getting it later. Flight control gives us reaction wheels and some wings, which are good for stability. Then we get more science, which can give us even more science so we can unlock stuff faster. So, it's a tough matchup, but since this is the science mode, we want to get as much science as soon as possible, so let's go ahead and do that. And now let's see what we can build with all of our new rocket parts. The great thing is, since we got all this new science down here, we can put it on a rocket and basically redo our last mission if we so choose and get even more science out of it. So what I'm going to do actually is build a rocket. We're going to want to put the Science Junior on there, of course. Now, I believe that you need a scientist to reprogram the Science Junior, so we're actually going to put a scientist into space, and that would be Bob Kerman. I should probably also get some more astronauts before I forget, but that'll be later. Let's get the decoupler. Now, this is what's going to come back down to Earth, and now we actually have more parachutes, which can further ensure our survivability, which is great. We can get radiators, some radial parachutes, we can get some drogue chutes, and I think I'm going to actually put on a few drogue chutes as well. That should help to point this thing the correct way when we're coming back down. We can get some landing struts if we so wish. Don't really need to. Now, batteries are nice because, well, we need batteries if we're going to be doing a lot of science and transmitting it back to Earth. So let's go ahead and put 2 on there. And for those of you who are wondering, in order to double the things, as you can see here, I put 2 on there. You just hit the X key. Look down here. X increases the symmetry, and Shift X decreases it. So just a little thing there. Now we need to figure out how to get this up into the air. Now, I would really love to get into space this episode if possible, so that means a lot more fuel tanks. Did I get any radial decouplers? Yes, I did, which is great, because now I'm going to Yeah, I think I'll do that. And then put some more fuel tanks on the side. There we go. And now we need to put the engines on. And which one of these is the more... the swivel one has... what's it called? Gimbaling, which means that it gets to point itself in different directions at least a little bit. And that helps to control the spacecraft, the direction it goes. The downside is that means that it's slightly less powerful than these other engines. I think it's a payoff I'm willing to do. I'm going to put a gimbaling engine there. I'm going to put a non-gimbaling engine there. And that looks pretty good. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some SRBs at the bottom here. So we need to do that. No, I want to do that. There we go. And then we're going to see how this goes. I do not have a clue about how stable this is, but we're going to find out. Aerodynamics. Now we can put some nose cones here to make it just the littlest bit aerodynamic. Now we're going to put some basic fins as well, because we do not want to lose control, of course. Center it as much as possible. And then how about let's just put 4 fins here as well. And I think that looks good. And we do have a heat shield, but I don't think we'll need that for this mission. And that is our rocket. Oh, we do need to put as much science as possible on it. Of course, really quickly put a communitron on here so we can transmit data back if we want. We want some mystery goos, of course. Not really many places to put it, unfortunately. Can we put it... I'm going to put them up here and then move the batteries down here. Oh, need to make 2 of those. There we go. Okay. And that looks good. And then a thermometer is actually really nice as well. That's one more science item we haven't added yet, so let's go ahead and do that. And what most people would do at this point is assign each of these to action groups, so all you need to do is hit, say, the 1 key, and all the science just collects itself all at once. I'm not going to do that. Let's call this Kerbal Orbiter 1, because I do hope that I can reach orbit with this thing. Let me go ahead and check my staging. Need to make sure things go when I want them to go. And that looks good. Right there. Okay, let's save the vehicle and launch it. Okay, since we're on a launch pad and we do have a new science instrument, let's go ahead and do that. The thermometer. Let's log the temperature. The temperature reading spikes suddenly. Did somebody start the engines? That's perfect. And we will... let's go ahead and transmit that data, actually. Even though we're only getting 50%, we can log the temperature twice and transmit it twice and get basically full. And there we go. We just sent it all off. Now let's log the temperature again. The temperature reading spiked suddenly. Did someone start the engines? I think I'm going to go ahead and reset that experiment, actually, and redo the temperature when we're further up in the atmosphere. Let's see. Can we observe the materials bay from here? Have we done that yet? Yes, we have. You think that the experiment is rather superfluous. So anyway, let's just go ahead. Throttle to 100%. Not really necessary. The SRB always is at 100%, and you can't turn it off after you start it, which I just did. Okay, it's going up very slowly, but it is going up. You can see here how much solid fuel we have, and it's not much. This is basically just a little Kickstarter to send us up into the air. I really don't think... Actually, looking at this, I'd be surprised if we get 100 meters a second out of this, but hey, every little bit counts, right? Let's go ahead and pitch just a little bit to the east. We are moving west for some reason. Now, there's no reason why you can't go west to get into an orbit. It's just easier to go east, because if you want to think about it, Kerbal is already rotating east anyway. That's why the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So you're getting an extra few hundred meters a second out of it. Okay, count 10, There we go. Oh, look, we're getting something ridiculous. Look at that, like 4, almost 5 Gs of acceleration there. In fact, we're going so fast I want to slow down. That is amazing. We're doing great here. I don't know if this can reach orbit. I think the extra weight from these 2 fuel tanks is just going to weigh us down too much, honestly. But we're doing great. Let's see if we can't log the temperature and send that back. Log the temperature. Yep, the ambient temperature is the definition of beach weather. Let's go ahead and transmit that back. Even though we're only getting 50%, you can hear the other rocket exploding as it hit the ground there. We're going way fast, actually, through the atmosphere here. Oh, something exploded. Even though we're only getting 50% from that thermometer, transmitting the data means that we do reset it, which means that we get all that, we get to use it again. And the great thing is, even though it depletes our electric charge to transmit it, these rockets actually recharge the batteries. Don't ask me how or why, because I don't even know. I just know that that is the way it is. Okay, we're getting down to just the last little bit of our rocket fuel on these 2 engines, and we're about to burn out. 3, 2, 1, and ditch those, and just look at those tumble back down to Earth, or Kerbal. Let's go ahead and go a little bit further to the east. Have I gotten a crew report from here yet? Crew report. Yes, I have. You wonder what is down there on the surface. If only I had some binoculars. Let's actually cut the throttle and see how high we're going. Oh yeah, we're going too high, actually. Need to move all the way here and start burning just dead east as much as possible. Like right there. Like I said, I don't think that we're going to get far enough on this fuel tank to get into an orbit, but we're going to try. In fact, I might even burn a little down here. Man. Have I gotten a mystery goo yet from this altitude? The goo seems to be getting cold right now. I'm going to reset that. Don't have much fuel left, unfortunately. I did not get enough to get up into space. Or I'm in space, but I didn't get into an orbit. An orbit is when you go completely around the planet. I'm in space, but not in orbit. This is only a suborbital flight, unfortunately. It's basically just a repeat of last time. But I believe I can observe the materials bay here. And the rarefied air has caused interesting changes to the gel samples. It seems like something is happening with the interior structure. Let's go ahead and keep that data. And now I'm going to... Have I done a crew report from here yet? Yes, I have. It seems we are very much in space now. The sky seems to mostly be below us. Let's see if we can't send Bob on an EVA to retrieve that data. We got to climb down. Let's see. Collect the data. Yes, remove the data. I am a scientist, so I should be able to restore, and it is operational. So now, have I gotten an EVA report from here? I'm sure I have. You're reminded of the myriad sailors who have been adrift in the ocean below, and here you are, the first one adrift in space. So let's go ahead and board. So now we can reuse the materials bay. In the meantime, there's really not much to do except, I guess, just, well, if we want to aim for this, maybe. Nah. Let's just go to, let's go to Apple Apps here, warp here, and then just burn all the rest of our fuel so that we're going as shallow into the atmosphere as possible, so hopefully we don't land too steeply. Because when you do that, then your parachutes will just rip off and you'll die. Let's just go prograde and burn the rest of our fuel. Yeah, we're about 1,000 meters a second short, so a full kilometer a second short. Well, actually, we're only about 800 or 900 away. That's not bad. Yeah, we actually got a fair distance. This is good. I guess I'll go ahead and just land the craft and then see you once I'm done. Oh. So it's a good thing I grabbed that stuff from the materials bay because it just exploded from overheating. I really should have put a heat shield there, and now I am very much afraid that Bob is not going to survive. There's no way of telling how hot this stuff is. My G force is just going up and up and up, which means this is not good. Big uh-oh. Okay, yeah, keep that. Bob? Okay, we're slowing down. Oh, man, I'm so sorry, Bob. All that hard work. Well, I'm glad you grabbed that experiment from the materials bay. Oops. Note to self, put on a heat shield next time. Big oops. Okay, the drogue chutes are safe to deploy, so I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick. Those are going to slow us down enough for the main chute to be safe, and yes, it is. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and land and see you back at KSC. Well, even though that mission was basically a waste, we did get some pretty nice data out of that. We got 27.3 science, thanks to saving all the science from the materials bay. Big oops. And we're up to 44 science altogether. So we're only one science away from unlocking something else in the tech tree. It should be easy enough to maybe head over to those hills, get some easy science over there. So I'm going to assemble a really quick vehicle that should just fly over there, get some science, and retrieve it so we can unlock one more thing in the tech tree and not call this episode a total waste. And this is the craft that I came up with. It is a very simple lander. As you can see, it's actually sitting on those legs. All these fuel tanks are going into that one engine, and with any luck, we'll get plenty of science out of this. First of all, let's go ahead and observe the mystery goo right here on the pad. The goo doesn't seem to be doing much right now. Let's go ahead and keep that. I mean, when are we ever actually going to use 2 mystery goos on this flight, right? Anyway, let's go ahead. We're going to go over that way. So let's go ahead, turn on stability control, and launch. And you know what? These canisters are not going in there. So, okay, let's go ahead and... Whoa! There we go. For some reason, we didn't get any sounds out of that for a second there. So let's just go ahead and go that way. Keep our thrust low. And then just hover along that way. Now our plan is to get to around these grasslands and then just land. It does appear that I need to transfer fuel all over here. It's not just a direct transfer like I had hoped. Anyway, let's just do in. And it's not working for some reason. There we go. It's working, it's just completely unstable. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, luckily I do have the parachutes if I need them. I need them. Just deploy, deploy, deploy. Work, 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 work. And... Bob survived. Bob, what's the crew report? There seems to be a lot of strange green life forms building something here. Oh yeah, we're still at the vehicle assembly building. Keep that. Ground spontaneously combusts from years of rocket fuel soaking into it, and the temperature spikes. Keep that. Well, that was you're lucky to be alive, Bob. Maybe I should call it quits here. That's 2 failures in a single episode. We're up to 49 science, so let's go ahead and unlock something in our tech tree, like the general construction, which should get us to more places. Research that, call it a day. I'll be back next week, and hopefully I'll either make it into orbit or, do something productive. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more.